praise break moment. What can we give God praise for today? This one is a bit of a different one, but definitely one that I feel is a praise break. If for anybody who has seen the hand of God work in this manner. All right. So recently, I want to say it was either yesterday in service in a church in North Braddock, Pennsylvania. Yeah, North Braddock, Pennsylvania, my grandmother's home state. There was an incident that took place where a man came into the service while the preacher was preaching and pointed a gun at the preacher.
And God had chose.
Um, Let me pause for a minute to say that we live in an age where demons are comfortable coming to church. We all must understand that that is the day that we live in. We need a different kind of protection. Yeah, I know we need the police, of course, and the security, of course. But when all else fails, you need a protection that's of a higher caliber. And that's why we trust the protection that only God can give. Anyway, my shout, I'm almost to it, is the man came into the church. And if you watch the video, I'm sure Joel can put it here.
This morning, Pastor Glenn Germany says he's grateful to God to be alive.
And God had chose.
Jesus! I noticed that a couple of things. At first, I noticed that the man froze when he pulled the gun out. And then Joe reminded me to take another look, and I looked again, and you can see that the gun actually jammed. It did not fire. It froze. You can take either one of them that you choose. And then a deacon came and jumped and pulled the man down to kind of stop harm from happening. My question that I pose as a piece of the praise break today is, what made him freeze, or what made the gun jam? Yeah, what made it freeze? I've been a beneficiary of God freezing the devil's hands many times in my life, and so have you. The praise break moment is that the thing that that the devil meant for evil, God stopped it. Now, I'm not saying that he'll always do this. I'm not by any means saying that this is the end result for everything that happens in the world. No, you can't focus it like that. You can only focus it by occurrence after occurrence, that either God will allow things to happen. Certainly we know people whom were harmed and in harm's way, that it was allowed. But in this situation and in your situation, I wonder how many of us have a praise, just a praise in our belly for the many times that God froze the devil. Do you have a praise for that? Do you know how many times that the enemy sought to take your life or your family member's life or something? He came your way and God caused him to freeze. God froze his hands. Your shout and my shout is to always remember the power of our Most High God, who can stop the devil in his tracks. Now, the addition to the shout is, we know that the gun works. We know that the gun works because this assailant that came to church, the police found that there was a body at his residence. Prayers to that family for that body that was there, but we know that that gun works. Who else could have stopped that from happening at that church for that particular moment except by God and what he allowed and not allowed to happen? I can give God praise for what he didn't allow. That's enough for me to shout. For many times in my life and many times in your life, you've got to shout for what God did not allow. That's a praise break for somebody. This pastor certainly has the message. I just wonder now that God did this for him, probably a different perspective, because he knew point blank range was pointed right at him. God froze him. God jammed the gun so that it could not harm him. I don't know about you, but if I were him, oh, I'd have a different kind of zeal for ministry after that. I mean, we should have one anyway, but boy, if you see God's hand do it, and whenever we see God's hand do something miraculous, we ought to be stronger and have a bigger, just a bigger unction to do his will.